The Life Finder keeps Maya up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal, though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Welcome to the stream, everybody. We are here today to bring you B East Heroes of the United States versus Reborn Knights Black. Today I'm joined by Monkus. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, everybody.
Alrighty then, let's just get right into the overview here. We have our map picks and bans put together. Heroes of the United States had the Twine cost, lost it, and therefore Reborn Knights Black was able to pick up first pick or map pick, which they took first pick. Here's the United States banned out Braxis and Volskaya. Reborn Knights Black banned out Alterac and Dragonshire, and we will be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. How do you feel about that pick?
I feel like this is one of the two super standard maps in NGS. I feel like it's almost always Tomb and Shrine that people like to default to. So this is, pretty standard. You got good wave clear. It really does feel like one of the few maps in the game where the execution of the team matters more so than anything else.
Yeah, definitely one of the maps that you can still kind of snowball off of good early game control. But it can also get stalled out with good defense, so it kind of goes a bit both ways. Interesting to see how well these teams go at it. This is the number 1 and number 2 seeds for Division B East, both sitting at 16 points apiece. Here's the United States has done one less set, so if they come off with the domination here, they'll also have another match that they can, further that lead and could put themselves solidly into first. And vice versa, if Reborn Knights Black picks up a win here, they will probably put themselves a bit more into the front runner spot. It'll be interesting to see which way we go. What do you know about each of these teams? Why don't you start off with Heroes of the United States for me?
Here's the United States. I don't think they've dropped a set so far this season. So I would consider that any team that is undefeated right now in B East to be in that number 1 slot because, to me, that's just the biggest identifier of, the best team. Reborn Knights Black has only lost 2 sets to 2 very good teams, so they're also in the top contention. And if they can beat HOTUS here, then they're definitely sending a message that they do deserve to be in that top spot.
Yeah, and I don't think Heroes of the United States has actually lost a 2-0 domination set either. I think almost every loss they've gone 1-1 or they went for 1-2. So definitely though they need to pick up a victory here if they want to try to maintain that top spot, and that's exactly it. It keeps taking 2 map losses for Heroes in the United States would definitely separate them out and keep them nice and ahead. Looking at kind of what we can see, there's a bit of a hero disparity between these two teams. Total heroes played is actually 25-37. Reborn Knights Black really flexing around with all of that, but it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you want to play the heroes that work the best for you. Like having a wide hero pool is nice so you don't get, choked out of the options. But also you really want to hone that edge. There's something that Bruce Lee once said, that he's not afraid of the man who's practiced 1,000 punches one time. He's afraid of the man who's practiced one punch 1,000 times.
Yep. I mean, we all like some Bruce Lee wisdom. Guy had some good points, especially for someone that studied. But we're gonna get right into the game here. Tune the Spider Queen starting right now. Make sure that this is popping up appropriately here.
Some of the big picks to look here are high wave clear targets. Diablo and ETC and the new Brack are also pretty highly valued.
Yeah, for sure. Man, this thing is not liking me very much.
The Uther ban. That's interesting. Trying to prevent the Uther main tank with that ban.
Yeah, I mean, Uther main tank has been statistically good. Trying to see, there we go. Now we can see it all. All right, in fact, I'm going to pop up the stats there as a nice little thing that Soothsayer has for us. And take a look at what Uther's been doing in B East this season. And we have a 3% popularity rate with a 100% win rate.
If you can get that Uther main tank to work, he can be pretty deadly. Banning out Johanna, she's really good at filling the gap to give you some extra clear. She's probably the best tank for doing the clear rotation with.
Yeah, we saw a Rexar ban from Heroes of the United States as well. 63% win rate on that hero in Division B East. So also a pretty powerful pick. 2-minute Spider Queen, maybe not the, one of those places where you're like, oh man, Rexar is like the bomb here, but still a very solid offlane hero.
No, it generally Rexar is the strongest on Braxis and Dragonshire lanes where you have to win the offlane. But most maps you don't have to win; you just have to not lose too badly.
And Johanna sitting at almost 70% win rate with a 97% participation rate, which is extremely high. We're going to see the first pick, ETC, coming out.
Yeah, ETC's strong. He fits into backline comps. He fits into dive comps. He's just a very versatile, safe early pick.
Oh, that's not the one I wanted. There we go.
And I believe, Hodis, now that I think about it, I believe they have run Uther main tank a bit.
So ETC is sporting a massive 77% win rate with a 70+% participation rate. That is insane statistics.
He's very popular, and there are a lot of very good ETC players in the division.
We're going to see Garrosh and Kael'thas. Garrosh has not been as popular as a pickup as of late, but you still can't deny the power that he can bring, especially early game in those rotation ganks.
Right, and Kael'thas can back that up. He can easily follow up Garrosh's throw with the stun, Q combo, everything.
Yeah, Kael'thas is one of those kind of sneaky heroes for me. 77% popularity weight, 6 KDA, 55% win rate. He's this season in particular has really risen up in the priority for a lot of teams and has been moderately successful too as well.
There's something that one of my teammates like to say is that Kael'thas isn't the one doing the damage, it's your teammates that are doing the damage by spraying the bombs around.
And I did want to comment a little bit on the Lucio pickup there. I'm going to pop up the stats for us on that one as well. But I think he's a sneaky, really strong pick this season as well. 54%, 32% popularity rate, so maybe not as strong stats as I was hoping to see, but I still think that in the right hands, Lucio is a very scary customer.
Well, I'm looking at the chat right here, and they are saying that RKB has a 100% win rate with ETC and Alarak, so...
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Pokecheck bringing in the statistics. Thank you so much for putting that into the stats. We all like to know what's going on in these matches. Did see a Jaina and Tyrande band. I do like the Tyrande band. It's a really good follow-up to Garrosh and Kael'thas. You don't want to be trapped behind or in the middle of enemy team for that long. So removing that from as an option. Strong play there by RKB.
True, but I would have liked to see them take the Tyrande for themselves. That Tyrande comboing off of ETC is just so strong.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can make those arguments for Tyrande both ways. But they're just feeling like the Lucio is the way to go, and so that's what we're going to see. In fact, I'll bring up the statistics there for maybe there's some data here to give us an idea on why we might see that. But 37% win rate with the 53% 53% win rate, 30% top popularity tells me it's pretty much the same thing, more of just a style choice, at least as far as stats go. But you know, stats are not the most reliable thing.
Gul'dan picked up probably the highest wave clear mage because the only thing that limits his wave clear is his health pool, and Lucio can give him an infinite health pool.
Yeah, aside from Braxis, I pretty much consider this Gul'dan's best map. He enables rotations very, very well. It's not hard to stall out points to get to those power spikes that he desperately needs to be effective. And now he just does a really, like you said, no one else matches his PvE. He's the best in the game at it.
I'm really liking both of these drafts. I kind of feel like Reborn Knights Black has a better dive, and I feel like Hodis has better backline.
Yeah, I mean, Alarak ETC Lucio means you've got fast, aggressive rotations, and anyone out of position is going to get punished really hard. But the same can kind of be said to the other side. Anyone that steps up too far might get themselves tossed behind enemy lines. And with Kael'thas Deckard, that's going to be pretty hard to get away from.
Very true. If anybody can get singled out, they're going to get blown up, that's for certain.
Yeah, that can happen on either side, so we'll have to see kind of which way this goes. It's going to be a skill matchup, I think, overall, when we're looking at everything that we have on the table at the moment. And I think in a skill matchup, both teams are extremely tight, so it'll be interesting to see how it actually all plans out.
Yeah, it's like I said before, this map is all about execution. Whoever can execute better in the team fight is going to generally win this map. And it's going to come down to player skill, how well they can play individually and as a team.
Well, I mean, there's a strategy that I like to employ on this map in particular, is that you can kind of, when you have Gul'dan on your side, a lot of the time you can kind of take some of those early turn-ins, allow them to spend the turn-ins, clear up really quickly, and then just get good level positioning, and then get your own kind of poke and wave clear out. And you can oftentimes just sustain the enemy team. Of course, the catch to this is you can't get getting picked off in the early game, and that's going to be pretty tough. Anyways, so we're going to start off the match here with the introductions. On the blue side, we have Heroes in the United States. Watson on the Garrosh, Blaze playing the Kael'thas, Jub on the Deckard Kane, yep. Clyde DH playing Raynor, and Waterboy KD playing the Sonya.
And for Reborn Knights Black, we have the Pie Maker on Gul'dan, Rabbit Penguin on ETC, Crafty Devil on Leoric, Solskiddo on Lucio, and Phantoms on Alarak.
So let us check out the opening handshake and see who gets the upper hand here. I do think the wave clear is still, at least speed-wise, pretty even, but maybe slight advantage there for Heroes in the United States is it's kind of hard to walk up into a Garrosh without getting hucked.
True, but I don't think Gul'dan ever needs to get near Garrosh to get his wave clear done.
That is true. So, pretty much even, I would say. Neither one really starts the rotation quicker. And neither team really looking to interrupt one side or the other, and that probably has to do with the fact of the speed. But look at Alarak getting tossed out there. Stepped up a little bit too far. There is the follow-up stun plus root. Alarak is in big trouble. Lucio doesn't have a lot of tools to keep him alive, but he does manage to. And that was a scary situation there for Reborn Knights Black.
And down in the bottom lane, we're having quite the duel. Sonya's being completely bullied out of lane by Leoric.
Well, I should have been a little bit quicker to that. My bad. Also, guys, I apologize. The stupid cursor guides are on the stupid thing, and I turn that off. But hopefully nothing else happens to but we are back into it. You'd think I was an amateur. And yeah, rotations are still looking pretty standard. I do think Reborn Knights Black has a slight advantage in the rotation, but it's really hard to say. It's looking pretty close on both sides. Experience is dead even. The waves are pushed up about even.
I think that Hodis has a little bit of the tighter rotation and the safer rotation by all sticking together.
There goes a toss onto ETC with the follow-up stun, just kind of getting that stack up there. We're at 4 at the moment with Warbringer. Sorry for being slow on the talents there, folks. And we are going E-build Alarak, so just deciding that that the extra sustain, that kind of late-game scaling on is going to be what they want. And see another toss onto ETC, follow-up stun coming in. But really, the damage isn't doing a whole lot to ETC in a lot of these situations.
No, they kind of have a lot of quests on their side. They're really going all in on this scaling composition. Corruption, it takes a while to come online, but once it does, it can deal massive damage.
So Watson got pressured out pretty hard. I was kind of meaning the burst damage coming up from the side of Heroes of the United States wasn't securing any kills on ETC at the moment. But like you said, it'll probably scale up. Although I did just notice that we have Executioner from Raynor and not Ace in the Hole.
Well, that helps him accomplish the wave clear and get rid of the spiders. It's a fair pick on this map.
I can see the arguments for it, but it definitely does reduce your kill pressure in the early game.
True, but it does give you the safety against enemy turn-ins.
Yep. But I think we found the reason why they're not getting a lot of damage onto that ETC on those throws.
True.
Good stun. I mean, we're at 11 stacks. Watson doing a pretty good job of making sure that he's getting that Warbreaker nice and stacked up so he gets that cooldown reduction. Crafty Devil and Waterboy TKD having a little fight here, but the rotation coming in quicker from Alarak. I mean, Kael'Thas was standing right there. He kind of stood there and kind of watched Alarak walk up onto Sonya, and we get first blood here for RKB. ETC seeing if he can get a turn in there, but it does not actually go through, so back to the rotations we are.
I'd really have liked to hear comms and what was going on at that moment there, because that seemed like a little bit of a communication error, letting Sonya die like that. Pie Maker going down.
Yeah, he was a bit forward, standing right next to the garage there in that bush, and that's definitely not where you want to be standing as a Gul'dan.
He didn't lose any of the gems, though. His team was managed to pick them all up. Right now, they're sitting on 67 total gems, while Blue Team has gotten 28 turned in.
So kind of have a looking to see and get a tournament. I think Watson's actually going to get the first conversion here, but it's still not quite enough to actually convert the Web Weavers here in the early game. But it looks like Blaze is a little bit out of position. If they can get a little bit more pressure onto that, but Phantoms wasn't in range to get a good pulse stun or a good pulse silence. And Blaze walks away with his life, but I do think that the map control is slightly in the hands of RKB with that aggression. Watson also pretty low, but Decker doing a pretty good job of keeping him up.
Blaze going for turn in bottom, and he gets it. That's Blue Web Weavers.
So first turn in going for, Heroes in the United States, and a pick might actually be happening here on the Rabid Penguin, but ETC is a slippery customer, and the damage output's just not enough to really kill him in those situations. Sonya goes down to the bottom lane again, too, as well. Alarak rotating in for the kill.
That's the second time Alarak has rotated bottom to secure a kill. Very nice job there, identifying the pickoff situations.
So, with that kill on Sonya, that's a free clear for Leoric. He's going to be able to move up into that mid lane and start working on that pretty clear. And actually, that's a good situation for Reborn Knights Black. As Gul'dan already gives you really good Web Weaver defense in the first place, but if you can get Leoric and Gul'dan into that mid lane, it's not going to get a lot done. But Watson getting really low, but no pull going to be able to secure the kill on that, and they'll have to make the rotation now.
Yeah, this is about as good as the defenses you could hope for. They only lost the wall top, a tower in the wall mid, and nothing bottom.
Yeah, that's the power of Leo and Leoric on this map. They do such a good job of controlling the waves and not really allowing them to get a lot done in the early game. That obviously can change as the game progresses and they start to scale up, but definitely early game looking pretty good for Reborn Knights Black with a half level lead.
And that early pick during the Web Weavers also allowed for Reborn Knights Black to be a little bit more aggressive in their defense.
Let me also note that we have a nice throw onto Lucio. I don't know if Zoskito's going to stay alive here. That root coming out, and that's a nice kill. Something that Heroes in the United States really needed to happen. They don't get the gems, again, isolated off, but just being able to find that pick on that Lucio is a really good play.
I don't know if you caught that, but Lucio had minus 75% healing. That was Emerald doing work there, helping to secure that kill. He wasn't able to amp it up and heal himself off from that periodic damage.
Yeah, good call out. I didn't quite notice it at the time, but it does make sense on why he wasn't able to recover from that, because he did have E up. Good throw onto Phantoms. He's going to drop the counter-strike. Things are looking maybe a little dire, actually, for Blaze there, but he gets a nice help, or a nice friendly helping, or into the fray, I guess is what they call it. 41 gems, Rapid Penguin trying to get these in, but without... Oh, they do get the turn in, though, in the bottom lane. Crafty Devil able to secure it, I think.
Rabbit Penguin should change his name to Rabbit Duck, because he is like a Scrooge McDuck holding onto those gems.
Yeah, 41 gems. And it's a little rough to have it on the tank, so we're going to actually see the counter push coming out with the Hyperion onto the bottom lane. Interesting move. I'm not entirely certain I agree with that, but, you know, who am I?
I probably would have waited at least until the Web Weaver was there and then popped it, but... And he's getting pretty decent clear of that Exterminator all by himself. He's already gotten that mid one to a third of itself.
Yeah, for sure. And Kel'Thas is decent on the defense, much like Gul'dan is. We're going to see the rotation come to the mid lane as they weren't feeling like they were getting what they needed out of it. But that mid... Oh, no. ETC does get thrown in. The taunt comes through, but Watson might actually be in trouble. But the saving grace coming out from... Stay a while and listen. And in fact, the Entomb actually dropped onto Raynor there too as well, and he could have been in big trouble, but 3-man stay a while and listen allows them to separate this out, and a good defense from Heroes of the United States.
And if you can say one thing about both teams, they have excellent clear. It'll be very hard for the Web Weavers to get anything done without some pickoffs.
Sound barrier needed to be dropped as there was a half health bars on two of the targets, are Crafty Temple and the Pie Maker getting pretty low. Both pretty good at getting their health back in those types of situations, so not entirely certain about that, but Rapid Penguin might get a free 44 turn-in, and that is actually a really good play, and something that they weren't watching as Waterboy TKD is over here grabbing a camp. Now that'll help them secure a turn-in, but will they lose the turn-in before that happens?
The Orcs going for the turn-in top, and they sniffed out there's nobody bottom, so they have to know they're going for the turn-in top, but they don't figure it out in time.
So the camp will help with the defense. Entomb coming out and doing absolutely nothing, and now he gets actually tossed in. Crafty Dable having to make his escape, but a 3-man mosh pit. 4-man does get interrupted.
Yeah, unfortunately, every member on that team has a mosh interrupt.
So
Alrak being tossed.
In big trouble. Counter-Strike not coming out to keep him alive there. I think it was already on cooldown, unfortunately, so didn't have it there. Yeah, so that's going to be 2 pickoffs. So that's a feel-bad moment right there. Losing 2 heroes on the push. Not what you want to happen there, and it all kind of started with a poor initiation by the Leoric there with that Entomb. Kind of cost them in that team fight.
Whiffing the Entomb is always a feels-bad moment. They get the wells out and the top and mid, but this is going to give the blue team a chance to get a turn-in of their own and be pretty safe on it.
So Entomb going to pop out here on Sonya.
Using that whirlwind to just pass right through everybody.
Yep. Whirlwind gets you out. You get to Dahaka your way through everything. No extra interrupts in place, as both Phantoms and Rapid Penguin were not in any position to stop it. Now they do get the interrupt on the turn-in. We had a 4-man attempt turn-in in the mid lane here, and 13s are actually picked up now by Reborn Knights Black. So they're going to do their best to try to defend this out. We do get a turn-in from Sonya, but it's not quite enough to get the Web Weaver conversions here yet.
Yeah, we are 11 minutes in, 13 levels. We haven't lost a single fort. Excellent defense by both teams.
But it looks like we're going to get that turn in here. Blaze does just barely get stalled out, but that's going to be the initiation call coming in from Waterboy TKD, and he's just living in that backline right now. Lots of health bars going down. Lucio gets completely picked off by that Wrath, and I don't think Phantoms is going to live here either, so... Here's what the United States picking up 2 really good team fights.
Yeah, this is exactly what you don't want if you're Reborn Knights Black. You don't want to be in the situation where Web Weavers are coming in and you don't have half of your team.
Unfortunate thing there too as well is that sound barrier wasn't used. None of their heroics came out to keep those heroes alive. As they probably didn't want to take that initiation, but it had happened whether they wanted it or not.
It looks like Gul'dan's in a little bit of trouble. Gets hit by the Emerald. Does manage to get away, but that cancels out all that healing from Lucio.
Sure does, but they are going to manage to get this clear up after the mid fort goes down. Bottom fort is also down. When you get to this stage of the game, it's going to get that way. Great route coming out. And another Wrath flank coming in from Sonya is going to put a lot of pressure on. Fear, though, might actually get the pick off in the counter here, but it's ETC that drops instead. Sonya lives, and the pressure is starting to mount against Reborn Knights Black here. Do you think they can come back?
Well, Hodis is making great use of these choke points where you can't get away from spreading bombs to your teammates and you can't really do anything but take the damage.
So bottom lane's going to take down the bottom fort. We're going to see with that odd man advantage here, they're going to see if they can push up onto the keep here. I do think this is a bit of a risky play, but at the same time, there's only one major heroic left up, and it's on the hero that's dead, so definitely free poke time.
And they have the 16 advantage. That is major. You cannot discount that.
Absolutely. In fact, let's pop up the talents so we can take a look to see what we got. We have, of course, the throw stun, Earthshaker coming in. We are not getting paint them red. We're actually getting give them more. But as this build was already a little odd from the start, I'm not all that surprised that we're going to get a little bit of change up here. Fury of the Sunwell coming in, looking for the extra siege damage.
I really like the Ancient Blessings on Deckard. With Raynor and Sonya, that's a lot of auto attacks that are coming out in high frequency. That's a lot of damage that you can do on the entire team.
Oh yeah, you know, you're giving up some of the extra sustain you get from super potions, but that damage can be so good.
It's a different kind of sustain, because they do heal up with their auto attacks with it.
For sure. And they've got good auto attackers in Raynor and Sonya, so definitely helps out. Looks like this fort is going to go down. This bottom siege has been seemingly lasting forever, and it's a good choice by Hodis because they're keeping Reborn Knights Black from being able to split and get their own soak to catch up. I wonder if it was a foregone. Yeah, I wonder if it was a foregone enough conclusion that Reborn Knights Black maybe instead just lets it go and gets that side soak so they can take a fight, but. Instead, they're going to lose bottom keep, and they're going to have to give up the turn-in, too, simultaneously, as they don't have 16. And another turn-in here could actually be the end of the game if things are played properly by Heroes of the United States.
Is this the third turn-in in a row by Hodis?
Yeah.
That is backbreaking. Now, this is a Sophie's choice if ever there was one. You have to defend bottom lane because that'll push into your core while you're messing with other things. But also, top lane is pushed in so far. You're going to lose a keep if you don't address that quickly.
So, Pokecheck has been casting in the chat, if you hadn't noticed. We see RKB looking to set up something here, but they're sniffed out by Sonya getting that spear onto it. And instead of going for that flank, even though they kind of gave up position for them to do so, they decide to flip around instead, see if they can clear out that bottom wave Weavers, and then come up for this mid defense. Scary situation here for Reborn Knights Black.
Yeah, like I said, there are just no good answers to what they can do here. No matter what they defend, they're losing something. And they might lose everything.
Yep, Hyperion is down. We're not going to see the initiation come out. Bottom keep is gone. Mid keep is gone. They're going to see if they can make a defense in the top keep, but that does mean the bottom is going to be pushing up onto the core. So they are on a timer here to make something happen. So top Weavers do go down, but with that camp and that catapult about to hit the core, they're going to start losing shields and core health here very quickly.
Yeah, it looks like, yep, they're starting to lose it right now.
And that means they have to give up positioning on this keep, and that does mean that it might be forfeit. We're going to need to see initiation come out from Reborn Knights Black now. It is do or die in this situation, and Mosh Pit goes down to see if they can secure the kill. We have Leoric way on the back line. A huge four-man Fear might actually turn this around, but we don't see any kills, but Blaze is in a terrible spot, and that is going to cost him his life. What do we do from here, Monkus?
You go for boss turn-in. That is your only hope right now. And that is what they're doing.
Boss is going to be, unfortunately, not a guaranteed victory here, as it still has to go through the keep and the fort as well. But with good siege damage and maybe a Web Weaver turn-in follow-up, they might be able to get something to happen here.
Yep. The boss by itself won't win it. The boss turn-in, the turn-in will keep you from losing from mid and bot, and you can go all in right here on this big push that you have.
With mid and bot pushed up so far, they're going to have to send someone back to clear up this lane a little bit. That means that boss is going to get probably free cleared here. It might not even get through the fort.
Yeah, the middle is definitely the danger lane right now because the middle camp alone will clear that out by itself without any help from the katas. And there are 3, 4, 5 katas on the floor right now.
But it looks like Reborn Knights Black is just saying, well, let's just push this out. Hopefully the Web Weavers will clear things out. Crafty Devil, though, getting super low. The initiation not quite getting what he wanted out of it. Lucio almost dead, but drops the sound barrier, and the shield is not something that you can anti-heal.
Yeah, I think
so he manages to get away with it. But unfortunately, this turn-in is just going to be about cleaning up the lanes. We have a 50% core health, and things not looking so great for Reborn Knights Black.
Now, look how quickly the middle lane was cleared out just by the camp and the catapults. That was no effort done by us clearing that out. That was 100% win-use. Yeah, I think right now, if you're HOTUS, you have the 20 advantage. You can go in, but also you can just play it safely. This is your game to win at this point. Just get an easy pick, then go straight for the core. Don't bother with the turn-in.
Yeah, unfortunately, Reborn Knights Black does not have a follow-up turn into this. That was it. That was all that they had in the tank, and they managed to get a fort out of it. So they're looking to see if they can find another team fight. But HOTUS can just kind of hide behind these walls. They don't really need to aggress here. If I was them, even with 20, you can just bait them into a worse position. In fact, go for that camp. And if they try to go for their camp, then you can invade that and make a big advantage here. But we're going to see a throw in on Leoric here. Not much else happening, though.
Yeah, I think that it's just their decision on how they want to engage. I think running at them is a really good idea because the 20 advantage is so significant.
And it looks like RKB. Yeah, it looks like RKB is looking to oblige, but they're not full committing to this fight. They're just kind of trying to stall things out a little bit longer, but that also means they're missing Soak, and that mid lane is getting pushed up again into the keep. Another 2 catapults that they're going to have to clear out.
Yeah, I think if I'm HOTUS, yeah, you can get this camp, sure, but I think you push in with this camp to try and end it. Go with that 20 spell armor and the talent advantage.
Yeah, they actually have 2 camps, and that can actually be quite a bit of pressure in both lanes that RKB has to deal with.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a mistaken positioning, letting them get some clear on that middle camp. They should push with that camp and have that 20 spell power all the time.
Nice stun on Lucio. Lucio actually getting in a little bit of trouble. Gets the boot back onto Watson so he doesn't get hucked into the team. And this is just all kinds of pressure coming in from Heroes in the United States. As he said, this could be the end of the game push coming in. ETC being zoned out, and that is going to be it. I don't think there's any way to stop this from happening. That's going to be game number 1 going to Heroes of the United States. Well done, GG.
Very nicely played by both sides. HOTUS managed to just leverage out their comp slightly better, got triple turn-ins, and there's not much you can do against that. 7-3, that's it. Every kill in this game mattered.
Yeah, I want to highlight the pressure being applied constantly by that Sonya, and even that Garrosh was just enough to keep the positioning, of Reborn Knights Black at bay. They couldn't find those good dive targets or those squishy kills that they want to get with a composition like this. So Frontline doing a really good job of just making sure that they never got that favorable fight that they were looking for.
A couple of things I want to point out. First, 55,000, 58,000. That's really close in damage numbers from both mages. They had super similar siege damage numbers. But those 3 kills that RKB had, 2 of them were on those Sonya picks early game. They only got 1 kill for the rest of the game, and that was that Blaze pickoff that they got right before they did boss turn it. They were not able to secure those kills that they so desperately needed in the late game.
Absolutely. And so I'm going to pop up the talents here, and then we'll go to a quick break after this so that we can get the next game set up. Alrighty. We will be right back, folks. Hey everybody, we're back. Game number 2 coming your way. We will be going actually to Infernal Shrines, as Monkus says. Surprise, surprise, the most popular map in NGS. We are back, so tell us a bit about this map there then, Monkus.
This is a map where you go into 2 stages. You go from the rotation clear stage, and you go into the shrine stage. And the shrines, it's all about having that first wave clear, doing a lot of damage to those little minions really quickly. You have some niche heroes like Ragnaros coming out that can be really strong and do secure you the last couple of Scullies, and popular heroes like Kael'thas who just become stronger because you can throw a bomb on the Skellies and spread it to everyone.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So here we are. Game number 2. Infernal Shrines, and Uther going to be the ban yet again.
Don't want to deal with Uther Maytank.
Especially on this map. Of all of the maps that I think that double support tends to be viable, this is one of my top ones.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. He definitely provides a lot of sustain for those long fights on the shrines themselves.
And considering the map isn't the biggest in the pool, there's lots of ways to get that side soak, and you don't need a ton of macro in the 4-man to be effective on this map. So we're going to see Johanna banned again, so very much the same bans as we saw last time.
No respect bans. Interesting. They I guess, did their research before going in here, and they want to stick with that game plan.
So do you think first pick Kael'thas on the side of Reborn Knights Black?
Oh, absolutely. Kael'thas is so strong on this map. It's no contest. If Kael'thas is open, you take it.
Yeah, I do like Jaina here as well, but I do think that Kael'thas, he can. The good thing about it is he's got that longer range. He can hide behind walls and just huck things in from the sides, and there's not much he can really do about it.
To me, it's always the bombs. Like he can throw out a bomb and on the minions, and it's hard enough to not spread the bombs to your allies when you also have to worry about the minions.
And it's actually true. When you hit minions fast, they blow up faster, on minions than they do on heroes. So it's harder to avoid, too, as well. But we were wrong entirely, and they're going to go straight for that first pick ETC yet again.
ETC is super strong, so it's a fair first pick, but I feel like Kael'thas is just so important here.
Yeah. Sonya actually going to be picked up really early in this matchup, but that's a really tough combo to contend with on Infernal Shrines.
There's the Kael'thas pickup.
Yeah, Sonya KT, basically the same we got in last game, but on this map in particular, that combo, it can be absolutely devastating to deal with.
Sonya has one of the faster wave clears of the off tanks. She's not the fastest, but she is right up there.
So we do see things being changed up a little bit with Irel coming in. I'm going to bring up the statistics on Irel. Lots of people whispering about the fact that she might be a heck of a lot more viable than she once was. How do you feel about the hero?
I wouldn't have taken her in the 2-3 slot because the other team's already picked their off lane, and I don't think Uro is in danger of being banned out.
Yeah, absolutely. And 11% popularity rate and a 17% win rate. So not working out for teams that take it here in Division B West, or East, sorry.
The problem with Uro is just that there are so many heroes that do her job better. You want to divey off lane? Pick Shen. Do you want something that has a lot of sustain and can defend people? Imperious.
It is interesting that we have had no priority on Shen from either one of these teams in this matchup.
Given how strong Shen is, it just has to be an issue of comfort.
So there's our first actual target ban coming through on the Decker Kane, and I totally agree with it. As on this map in particular, that combination that they already had in game number 1 was definitely going to be a problem coming into game number 2.
Yeah, that Emerald did so much work. There were so many times that Reborn Knights Black almost got away, but that healing reduction just meant they couldn't do it.
But that does mean they leave Tyrande available, and that's always a scary pickup. And actually, to talk about the stats that we had on Deckard, not counting the last game, he had a 3% popularity rate with a 0% win rate. So, interesting. And
they're going hyper carry Vala. Interesting.
Again, this is a map that is good with double support, and nothing's more classic than Vala Tassadar double support.
And Yrel adds a little bit of extra healing in too. They're going all in on that Vala. I hope Phantoms has a god tier Vala because everything will be riding on his shoulders.
For sure, but I think they have a lot of good support tools for it in this matchup, and I like the Muradin adjustment. And this map in particular, I'm not a huge fan of Garrosh, as trying to throw on the Shrine is tough to do. And he would struggle in getting in on any good targets to throw. Irel's not great to throw. ETC's not great to throw. You really have to get in there on that backline, and they got a lot of good ways to disengage. So I like the Muradin, though. The Muradin's going to put a lot of good pressure onto those backliners. When you've got Sonya as well as Tyrande follow up there, it can be really rough.
I will say that as Garrosh, you can't throw the Shrine minions. They're not targetable with this throw.
Oh, I guess I don't play enough Garrosh to know.
I knew one team last season, they never chose Garrosh on this map because they thought that.
That same thing.
Yeah, and they were like, but you can use Garrosh on this map because he doesn't target the minions and all. So they're like, oh, I guess that opens up our options then.
Well, that's a cool little interaction. So you think the Garrosh would actually have been okay here, or do you like the Muradin pick?
I actually would have gone with Diablo. This is like
I agree,
of his best
but
maps.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, for sure. This is like Diablo's map. But we didn't see it, and so that's going to be our draft here. We're going to start on the blue side, looking for that 2-0 domination and looking to secure their spot in first. We have Heroes in the United States, Watson on the Muradin, Waterboy TKD on the Sonya, Blaze on the Kael'thas, Jub playing the Tyrande, and Clyde DH on the Rainer.
And for Reborn Knights Black, we have Piemaker on Tassadar, Solskiddo on Lucio, Rabbit Penguin on ETC, Phantoms on Vala, and Crafty Devil on Yrel. I'm looking at the talents here, and I'm hoping that Vala going Hot Pursuit at 1 means that she's going into multi-shot build.
So it's the opinion of some people in B-West that Phantoms is one of those players that can really make things happen. And so it really has to do that today here on Vala.
Yeah, like Mighty Atlas, the entire world is on his shoulders. He has to carry his team to victory.
But, you know, Vala did get a little bit of a buff. She got a good health buff. That level 16 talent, Seething Hatred, is actually quite strong, too, as well. I still see a lot of Manticore, especially into heavy frontliner, but I do think that Seething Hatred has a huge place, especially if you have Strafe.
I agree. I think that the extra spell damage can be quite significant to her output.
But that is 16s, and we have to get there first.
They're doing a really good job on their rotations, I will say that.
I mean, Tassadar and Vala is actually in really good wave clear. So they're actually going to use that a little bit of space that they created for themselves to grab this camp really quick. And, you know, Vala can do camps pretty quickly as well. Now, what is the build that we got from Vala this way? We are going to see Hot Pursuit. So with Hot Pursuit, generally what we see is going to be true multi-shot build. But sometimes we see people go auto attack. What do you think the chances of that are?
Well, if they want to win, they're going to go with multi-shot, and if they don't, then they'll go auto attack.
There you go. We definitely have opinions here, guys. But I am of the same opinion. Don't worry. I don't like the auto attack build pretty much at all.
This is some great push they have going in the mid lane. This is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, like Tassadar's going to be able to get that wave clear in the bottom lane. Camps can't push up super hard onto it. Create the space you need and get a few towers. Get a little bit of pressure. Those things add up as you get through the games, and it's what I want to see from a composition like this. And
since the first Punisher is mid lane, then they can actually secure a 4 out that pretty easily with the wall at 50% and one of the towers gone.
Absolutely. So they're cleaning up the bottom lane here. We're going to see the rotation actually coming in. Phantoms might actually overextend a little bit, but he kind of juked out Watson by going underneath his dwarf toss. It gets away. That was a nifty little move there by Phantoms, making sure that he didn't get a ton of damage onto him in that situation.
Yeah, Hodis was expecting a Zig and Phantom zagged.
So there goes the stun. Follow-up stun pretty slow, though. Doesn't manage to land on anything at that time. And we do get the stacking talent coming out from the Tyrande, but ETC super low. And this is one thing we have to talk about when it comes down to Tyrande. She's so good at making sure those frontliners cannot stay there for very long. And ETC is definitely one of those pickable targets, but we do see a nice little knockback coming in from Irel.
But they're doing a good job with the double support. They saved ETC from death with the Tassadar shielding there.
Absolutely, but he's still struggling to get that healing back up. Lucio just doesn't have that great sustained healing until he gets a little bit later up in his talent tree. So I think that this is probably going to be going to Hodis for the first objective here.
Yeah, they're definitely making a fight of it. If either side gets a pick, and there we
Raynor
are,
goes
fans.
down. 35 still left, so we could still see them try to pick this up. But a triple stun plus a Goomba Stomp coming through. ET still getting picked apart. Sonya's going in. She's going to grab those last 3, but she might die for it, so worth?
She doesn't quite get it, can she? 3-man stun.
Merton is now hopping in here. This is definitely going to be going to Heroes in the United States, but they dropped 3 kills for it, and I just don't know if that's worth.
Well, you definitely don't want to give up 3 kills and lose the Punisher.
That's true.
So I did not expect it to be that close. That went down to the last 3 skellies.
Yeah, you're kind of expecting Kael'thas to be able to just kind of pick off those last ones without having to hard commit there, but that definitely wasn't the way to go. So front wall going down, a little bit of damage onto the fort, but a very solid defense here by Reborn Knights Black. If you're going to lose the objective, getting 3 kills and an easy defense like that is exactly how you want things to go.
Yeah, you don't usually see the team that loses the Punisher ahead in experience.
Definitely not.
And I will say, I definitely thought that those living bombs were going to finish off the skellies, but the positional awareness of Reborn Knights Black to just move out of the skellies when they got the bomb on them was just excellent.
Yeah, they had really good awareness. There's a lot of scary situations that could have gone against them there, but they managed to sustain through it, and it looks good for them. But we are getting a nice pressure here on the bottom lane by Heroes in the United States there, making sure they're getting all that structure, max value out of these Khazar camps, which do a significant amount of damage these days.
Yeah, but Tassadar, like you said, he has really good wave clear, and he's already gotten them all the way down by himself.
Yeah, that was a 4-man commitment, and they couldn't quite get this well. Front wall is gone, though, and that's still pretty good for them. But, yeah, still a slight experience lead for Reborn Knights Black, and going into 10s, things are going to get very interesting.
Yeah, and the other thing here, by losing that wall, that means this bottom Punisher, if Hodis can get it, that is definitely a dead fort.
Absolutely. For sure. And there's not really any way to get good counter siege, so they're going to really want to win that next objective. Rabbit Penguin looking for that power slide onto the dwarf tossing Watson, but just not going to quite work out. And so now looking to see if they can pick off a Sonya, but that rotation is also not going to work out. And this bottom lane actually got pushed in. And they're going to lose some of that experience there in the bot lane.
Interesting that Rapid Penguin has again gone for Mosh Pit. It is, the talent that you love to see, but every member on Hodis has a way of interrupting Mosh.
Yeah, but generally you only need a few seconds, so if he can find that window, it can still be a very powerful pick, but it's definitely going to be tough to find that window.
Yeah, if he can get that window with Rain of Vengeance and all of the multi-shot stacks, can definitely deal a ton of damage very quick.
So Sonya is going to come up here, but I think she's going to get full rotated on here, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get away. Looking to juke and stall this out as long as possible so that they can give Heroes in the United States all the time they need on this shrine. And in fact, they're going to use that window and push down this bottom fort, which, again, if they manage to win this objective, is going to be very good in their favor. But at the same time, they might be a little overextended here, but the rotation didn't come in as fast as you'd hope to see.
That's good decision making by HOTUS. They didn't panic. They saw one of their guys getting dove on, and they took massive advantage of it. Trading one person for a fort this early in the game is a pretty good trade.
They do still have that top camp to worry about, though, and that is going to be continuing to push in that top lane. And they do have a very massive lead here on the objective. So they might be able to even this out here in the bot lane with the kill, but that wave needs to be pushed up. I'd really like to see them like maybe stall this out at 39, push up the wave, maybe even grab the camp because they're so far ahead at this point. There's just no way that Heroes in the United States can really get the counter in. But they're just going to clear it up and push in, and that means not going to have a wave for this siege, and that might be a saving grace for HOTUS here.
Yeah, the one upside is that Raynor is having to travel all the way down to deal with it, and he is their primary Punisher clear with Exterminator.
But Wrath Sonya seems to be doing a pretty damn good job of it, and they do manage to save this fort. Very good defense there coming from Heroes of the United States, and that was the thing. Tassadar also had to back up to clear up that wave, and by the time it happened, it just wasn't good enough. So it's just one of those things where you can kind of look at and see where you have that advantage, you know, and where patience would be a virtue. Missed opportunity, I'd just say, from RKB.
Yeah, interesting. You look at the score, they have 4 kills to HOTUS's none, and HOTUS is ahead in map pressure.
Yeah, they at least have one structure advantage here. The experience is still slightly in favor, but a nice rotation coming in from Sonya is going to force this fight in. Erel does show up. Rabbit Penguin does have 75 armor to keep himself alive there. Block Party getting a little bit of value.
Oh, we did go Block Party at one.
So nice knockback on Watson. He actually might be in a really bad spot here. Follow-up power slide. Avatar has to be popped, but he could still be in trouble. Rain of Vengeance does find the kill. Does not quite find the kill, but lots of heroics dropped there, and all for just a Rain of Vengeance. I'd say that's a good trade for RKB.
Yeah, if you're looking at heroics right now, RKB has all of theirs up, and HOTUS has none of theirs, and they're all fairly long cooldowns.
So failed gank attempt here in the mid lane. Crafty Devil finding his way out as the Murden stun did miss. And I think HOTUS is just going to be like, yeah, we need to hide behind our walls until our heroics come back up. But it looks like they're not. They're just going to kind of push up here. Rapid Penguin a little bit out in front of his team, giving them a nice target to put a lot of damage into. And they got a lot out, and they got Sound Barrier. That is not a good trade.
That Sound Barrier, that had to be a fat finger because he was completely out of danger. No reason to use it, but
well, it's a 70-second cooldown that is still there, and in fact will be up well after Avatar, Shadowstalk, and Hyperion come back into play. So
maybe the Sound Barrier was to show just how much he cared for ETC. Like, I got you, fam.
For sure. So they're going to be able to trade out the bruiser camps here. We don't get, this is the third objective we've had and still has not gone top lane once.
Yeah, interesting. I thought this thing rotated between the 3 points, but I guess it's just a thing where it has to rotate between the 3 types.
Yeah, like if it spawns top, it has to spawn somewhere in the bottom, right? It just can't spawn on the same one it did before.
Right.
RKB is going to clear out this bruiser. That means pressure is going to be applied in this top lane, and we're going to see HOTUS say, hey, well, we're going to grab your well here in the mid lane. And again, some of these macro calls are good. They do drop Hyperion for it if we see a good flank come in here, but they take kind of the safe path, and they don't manage to land the stun onto the Kael'thas, but he is split off, and actually Rel is going to hunt him down, but he makes a nice little move. And that it was end up being a good trade for Heroes in the United States, though they are down some heroics, and that might not be so good.
Yeah, and it looks like they are again conceding. I thought they were conceding Shrine advantage, but they got 16 Skellies dead.
Yeah, but Raider did split, and that's going to initiate the fight here. Soundberry coming down just to make sure they have the health bars to secure the kill onto Blaze, but he does walk away, and Piemaker taking a lot of counter damage there. But they do manage to get positioning on the Shrine. can they clear this up fast enough before the re-engagement comes in? Mosh Pit and Ardent Defender still available.
And that's where I kind of think Stage Dive would have been effective. He could have dove behind the Kael'thas and finished off the kill.
I think that's a fair point and stuff, but it does land on 2, and it might be good enough, but it was on both frontliners. The damage not quite coming in. Piemaker getting pressured again by that Muradin. And we see ETC actually getting popped there on the front line. Just all of the support unit was already used up by that point. He took so much damage off of that mosh pit that it just wasn't enough to keep him up. And another close Shroud fight, but still another one that goes in the favor of Heroes of the United States.
Yeah, they've gotten 2 of these, and this is going to be a dead fort for sure. And RKB will have to concede it and hope that they can keep this keep alive.
ETC will be up back in 5 seconds, and they still have a lot of their heroics about to pop back up, like Sound Barrier. So that's a good saving grace here. I do think they should be able to save this keep, but it's going to be rough. Raph Sonia is really rough on that, and she should have that available here in just a few seconds.
Yeah, no, this keep's gone.
Yeah, keep's gone. Keep's gone.
The one saving grace is that top lane lost the fort in exchange.
Yeah, well, if Bosch does go up there, that would be a good turn of fortune for RKB, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's up to the RNG gods right now. If it goes top lane, that's massive advantage to RKB if they win it. If it goes bottom lane, massive advantage to HOTUS if they get it.
Absolutely.
If it goes to either of the other one and the other team wins it, then they can't get nearly as much accomplished. And it's top lane.
I'm quite surprised how much HOTUS has managed to get here, especially being down 3 kills. It still just hasn't netted out anything substantial. Nice stun, disengaged there, making sure that no fights happen on RKB's terms. And we've been seeing really good zoning and positioning here by the front line of Heroes in the United States. Looks like there's...
This kind of goes to show that the only things that matter are your structure's health pool. That's the only statistic that matters.
Here's the United States. See if they can snipe this well. We've seen this every single time. There's a lane advantage one way or another, but here comes some of the engagement, and Blaze getting hit by the stun. Irel trying to see if they can get in there, but he does get disengaged out. Phantom's looking to get those kills in. But yeah, Rainer's actually on an island. He might actually go down here. I don't know if he can get away. He doesn't, and that's going to be the first, another kill for RKB here. Our defender dropping to keep Irel alive. And I think with the double support, they're going to be able to sustain through this fight. But was that the right time, as there is no objective available to take advantage of?
Well, they can definitely push in top pretty hard right now. Steal that camp, get a nice XP advantage here.
Good stun on Tyrande to help keep Waterboy TKD alive, but you are right. They're going to have to give this up to RKB, and that's a nice little thing to have. But Rainer will be available for the next objective, so they're going to have to take another big team fight. And Ardent Defender is not going to be available.
Great. I don't know if Hyperion will be available by the next team fight, though. That's quite significant in securing it.
Reborn Knights Black really looking to see if they can find an advantage, and they might have found it. We see Tyrande out. Actually, it's Blaze that gets focused out, and that's actually a huge pickup for Reborn Knights Black. Hey, it's all you need, although he probably was dead anyways. But Crafty Devil, because he went after that Tyrande, instead got rotated in, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. So, interesting.
I think losing Kael'thas is a lot more impactful. No offense to Urel, but I think that was a good trade for RKB.
And they're looking to see if they can get Watson, posting up in these positions just to make sure that they don't get any good spots. But I'd like to go see if they can get a little bit of advantage here, especially when there's 3 catapults sitting almost on the core here.
Yeah, what
almost
they need
a
to
fourth
do right
one.
now is just get the shrine, ignore the core pressure. Urel can deal with that when she gets up. You have to win this fight.
So pressure coming in onto Rabid Penguin. That Hunter's Mark doing lots of pressure there. But the well was not originally taken out, and that's going to allow them to get a tap and a re-engage here. As you say, we do have Arel finally arriving. She's going to clear up that mid lane and then come in here for this fight. But we do have a huge shrine advantage here for Heroes in the United States, and they're not going to wait. They're going to bring in the initiation right away, putting a lot of pressure onto ETC, but sustain is looking really good for RKB at the moment.
Yeah, oh, this is just incredibly close. The fight.
Oh no, Muradin gets popped, and that is not going to be a good spot here for Heroes in the United States, and they don't have enough kills, and the flank coming in from Irel might actually get these backliners, but it's going to be Sonya, I think, that's going down here instead. And this is going to be one objective by Reborn Knights Black. And as we said before, this objective is a scary one to lose for HOTUS.
Oh, and it's a frozen Punisher, the most dangerous one right now. That is huge. And Urel's going down bot to try to get some clear out. Good, relieving the pressure. And HOTUS, it looks like they are going for that keep too.
Yeah, so
backdoor, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think they're backdooring. I think they're just trying to even up kind of the advantage here. Push up this lane, put a bunch of pressure into that bottom camp. If it's if it's ignored long enough. Oh no, if Arel can just pop up here and stall this back, that'd be huge, but she doesn't manage to see it.
Oh, if Urel had jumped on Tyrande there, then that could have been easily game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would really like to see the aggression coming out, but now I don't think that this can be core. Rapid Peg went super low. I think they might get a keep here, but I don't think unless they can find a pick on someone weak, they're going to be able to get Mosh Pit. It was a blink into Mosh Pit, but unfortunately doesn't land on anyone. But
no
Waterboy,
Death Mosh.
Death Mosh was not there.
Oh, he took bolt of the storm. Death Mosh would have just won them that entire fight right there.
And now Arel is in a big trouble here, so the disengage is not going to come out. I think she just needs to sacrifice the kill. So they do get the keep, but they trade 2 deaths for it. And if HOTUS plays this right, they could definitely go pressure the core here with that mid lane being pressured up as far as it is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think you just go for... You have the opportunity to go for core here. You all have all sorts of chances.
But they're going to go for the safer play and start sieging this bottom keep, which I think is still a viable option. But it does allow RKB to have, if they get a good fight here after their team members get up, as they are super overextended here, we could see RKB, in fact, turning around for the kill. So the core call has been made. ETC is going to be up. They're going to put the pressure onto Tassadar. He does not go down. Shield is gone. And there is no Mosh Pit to stall this out, so they're just going to put the pressure onto it. But Waterboy TKD is going to die here. Rain of Vengeance is going to secure the kill, and here's the thing. If they don't end here, this is going to be the game. And I think that is going to be it. Tehran can run, but they just leave Arel back here, and they just run to the top lane and win. Yeah, I think this has got to be game.
Before, it might not be, because it probably is, don't get me wrong, but that is a long way to travel there.
It is, but there's 2 catapults, and there's still almost 40 seconds on everyone left, so I think that this is still going to be a game.
Okay, I do think it is now. That extra catapult pressure, yeah.
So it looks like we're going to be going to game number 3, which is exactly what we were looking for at this.
Oh my god,
on this match.
Like, here's the thing. If they had just done that core call from the
start,
and not bothered with bottom keep,
they would have won.
Win.
Yeah.
Like, HOTUS, I know that you're watching this replay later, and I hate to tell you this, but yeah, could have won the game in a domination right there.
Absolutely. But they give them that tiny window of opportunity, and that's all RKB needed to go and finish the game. Well done, Reborn Knights Black. You know, they were unlike the first game, they were definitely dominating in a lot of the major team fights. But the HOTUS macro was so good that they just put them in such a bad spot there. Oh man, that was a good match.
Shot calling for HOTUS, because they're doing an excellent job, barring that one mistake on not going for the core, but they managed to turn every death that they had into an opportunity. It's like, oh, we lost a guy top. Well, let's push down bottom and take out that fort. Oh, we lost a guy here. Well, let's just focus on this lane and take these camps. They managed to get insane map pressure while losing men left and right. Except for Toronto, she never died.
Absolutely. That was a really fun game to watch. I enjoyed kind of the back and forth, the comp versus comp. We saw kind of like map objective kind of secure out of Hodis. Again with that exterminator build, just really looking to get that advantage. And it almost turned into a win.
And you said Phantoms has a bit of a reputation of being able to get things accomplished, and certainly added to his legend with 0 deaths and being the hyper carry Vala to secure the win for his team.
Absolutely.
Excellent job.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, let's pop ourselves to a quick little break while we sort out the next game. Thank everyone for being here. Pokecheck for being our third commentator there in the chat. And we will see you shortly. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for game number 3 in this best of 3 matchup between Heroes of the United States and Reborn Knights Black. And I think we're getting everything we wanted out of this matchup between these top teams in Division B East.
Well, the last game was just excellent. It had everything back and forth. The Punisher coming at just the right lane at just the right time. It was amazing.
Yeah, ill-fated core call turning into a reverse core call into end of game. That's the tightness that we like to see. Let's go into the overview here so we can see where we're going for map number 3. And it was Heroes of the United States taking map pick, and we're going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity. Tell us about this map.
Well, this is a map where you have to divide yourselves between the laning phase and the race phase. And you have to build up your team so that you either want to defend your immortal or outrace the other team. And in particular, heroes like Vala, Greymane, Raynor, Artanis, all heroes that have great PvE, great race, and one of the very few maps that you can definitely see a viable Artanis offlane pick because of how much he contributes to the race factor.
Yeah, Artanis definitely not the highest picked offlaner in NGS by any means, but on this map in particular, definitely gets a nice shot up with that average opponent at level 1. Now, it might be a little harder to pull some of those crazy macro calls that we saw from Heroes of the United States on this map in particular.
True. Because it's only a 2-lane map, you can't decide to push where the other team isn't. But there are times to make some camp calls if you lose a fighter under the immortal, or times to decide to go straight for burn or go straight for the defense.
Absolutely. Now, we saw a really good Vala coming out from Phantoms. On this map, do you expect to see a little bit more flexibility in the ban phase as we've seen up to this point? Or do you think we're going to still see a lot of the same things?
I definitely think they're going to go with the Uther ban because I think they're trying to prevent a very specific strategy with that. I don't know if you still want to be banning out Johanna that early on here. Vala, she performed really well for RKB last time, and this is possibly Vala's best map in the game, so maybe you want to consider banning that one.
Yeah. I've got to use the restroom, folks, really quick. So, Monkus, why don't you keep everyone entertained while I run off?
Can do. We've seen Raynor get picked already in 2 games, so expect him to get picked again here. He's already gone the build that you go to contribute to the race in the other 2 games, so again, take it here. Exterminator, excellent choice on this thing. Exterminator on Raynor alone can handle about as much race as nearly any other team on the game can handle. Tyrande, super high value pick here, but given that RKB is like Lucio so much in the past couple of games, I think they might want to stick with that for their side. But HOTAS can definitely take advantage of that with the Tyrande pick, given that Kayn was a lot more effective for them in game 1 with the extra Emerald pressure to lock down the healing. I don't know if this is the time to go with the double support Vala pick, but it worked out really well for RKB last time. And again, this is one of Vala's best maps in the game, so sure, go with what won you the game too. Stick with what's working for you, and don't switch around too much. ETC is always a good pick, and HOTAS honestly has a lot of options available for them in tanking. They've picked a different tank each game, and you can really go with just about anyone given the comps that they've been doing, except for probably a new Brack, since their comp's been way more interested in protecting the backline than anything else. But if we continue to see the same bans that we have been seeing, we're going to see a Johanna and then Uther banned by RKB, and I cannot remember what HOTAS has been banning during phase 1 each time. So strike that down to my memory. So chat, who do y'all think will win game number 3, just based on how the previous 2 games have been going? See, vote for RKB or for HOTAS. The heroes of the United States. Oh, and I see Mega Muffin has finally arrived to watch the game. Hey, Mega.
Okay, sorry about everything.
It's all
Sorry about the delay there, guys. I had to use the bathroom. I didn't realize I put us to a break. I hit a button, apparently. But probably a good thing, except for Monkus was talking the whole time. Apologize.
I'm also looking here at the Avatar synergy, and RKB definitely has that. I only see 3 Carbot images for HOTUS. They have 3 Carbots, a fancy goat, and some other icon. I can't recognize.
Team Nut.
Ah.
So
Well,
we're
at
just
any rate,
a bit of a
begin to
delay.
see.
Yeah. With Cly DH needing to restart, so he'll be back here momentarily. I apologize for the delay, everyone. We will be getting to the last game of the series here, hopefully shortly. So BOE, any idea who you think has the advantage here? Is it the map pickers or the first pickers?
I'm of the opinion that the first pick always has the advantage, no matter what the situation is, because you get 3 picks before the second ban phase as opposed to 2. But I have been proven wrong before, and sometimes that last pick slot can carry something super unconventional, like, say, the other team doesn't draft blinds or any target stuns or anything. You can go, say, Illidan in that last slot.
So interesting to point out, BOE is actually the most banned map by Reborn Knights Black. And they've only played there one time and they lost on it.
Interesting.
Whereas highest win rate for HOTUS is actually tied with Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it's Battlefield of Eternity. So map pick might be an advantage here in this specific situation.
Yes, I'm of the opinion that you should just practice on all the different maps so that you're never at a disadvantage. Yeah, and even then you can say, okay, we just don't play well on, say Braxis. For whatever reason, we don't do well on Braxis. But you don't want to be in a situation where the enemy team can be like, oh, they don't know what to do on Cursed Hollow. Let's go to Cursed Hollow. You don't ever want to show that side to a scouting enemy team.
Yeah, and considering it's the most banned map so far this season, and the only time they've played on it has not gone well, definitely means that perhaps HOTUS has been doing their scouting. It might just be that they do well on this map, generally speaking. They've only played twice.
Maybe RKB has cracked the code of how to play this map for themselves, and they're more comfortable.
All right, readies, I think, are starting to go out. Just waiting for a response from RKB. We should be getting into the game here right away, folks. Alrighty, here we go. Game number 3, and as you said, Uther is going to be banned.
Yeah, no surprise there. Uther main tank is a very specific niche build, and if you don't have the tools to deal with it, or you don't want to deal with it, then go ahead and knock that out.
So, are we going to see the Rexar ban yet again? It's not a bad Rexar map. It doesn't play to his strengths as much, but it's still good. But Sylvanas is in fact going to be the target ban. And really, Sylvanas has been a hero that's been largely ignored in this matchup.
Well, and on this map, because of the bug with her level 4, she does bonus damage to the mortals with her Mercenary Queen trait, and that is pickable on this map. She does excellent race with that.
49% popularity rate with a 59% win rate. Strong hero still. Malthael is actually going to be the adjustment here by RKB. Curious about that one.
Well, Malthael does a significant amount of damage to the Immortal, and he does a lot of team fight. However, he doesn't necessarily do more damage than, say, Sonya.
So Malthael sitting at about 11% popularity rates and not commonly picked, but 67% win rate so far in Division B East. So strong hero in particular players' hands. Definitely deserves the ban. And Anubrak again being banned out. Not sure about that.
Oh, and RKB has opted for Tyrande in the first pick. Every other game they've gone with ETC, and ETC matches up excellently with Tyrande. So it'll be interesting to see if HOTUS lets ETC go through or if they pick it up here themselves.
Greymane Arthas. So going for fast race with Greymane, which I like on this map. I do think he's quite strong, and Arthas is definitely one of those things you can consider a bit of a counter to Greymane damage. Though he is still somewhat susceptible to Cursed Bullet in those situations, but it's a moot point here as they pick up both on the other side.
I think Cursed Bullet's a bit of a trap because Go for the Throat is just so much better. In the Vala Li Ming 1-2 combo, two excellent racers picked up by RKB.
Yeah, Li Ming a pretty big staple on this map, so not a huge surprise that we're going to be seeing it contested here.
Now, do you think that Arthas pickup, is that a main tank Arthas or an offlane Arthas?
Well, it's Watson, so unless they do a swap, I would say that's main tank.
Oh, I've seen a lot of swap tech in the past few weeks, so I wouldn't put it past anybody.
Yeah, but, I hope not, as that makes my job harder. Garrosh being banned out. I think that's a decent ban. It's good into Greymane.
I don't know about the Raynor ban. They've already picked up Greymane. Getting Raynor as well, that's kind of putting all your eggs into one little basket.
This is a map where you can kind of get away with that. And we have seen so far that the Raynor likes to go Exterminator on this map.
Yes, but Johanna picked up could counter Raynor entirely. It does look like it is a main tank Arthas because of the Sonya pickup.
That it does.
Little bit of an issue here, though. They don't have a lot of CC. They have, roots in Malfurion and Arthas and a silence with the Malfurion ult, but the only stun they have right now is Sonya's Engage.
It'll be interesting to see what they go with because there's not a lot of assassins with on-kit CC. And that leaves ETC perfectly available, and an Imperius going to be picked up here. And Imperius is pretty decent on this map, given the fact that he doesn't have to... the laning phase isn't as intense for him.
I am absolutely terrified of RKB's lineup right now. They have the ETC Tyrande follow-up stun. They have the Imperius stun to set up the Li Ming resets. That's just a scary team right there.
Well, Tychus is going to come in. I'm kind of two minds here. Tychus is pretty good into their frontliners, but they have A, a lot of CC, and B, a lot of ranged poke damage. And that can be a little bit tough for Tychus to find those spots where he can get it, especially, as you said, they only have roots, really, for hard CC on this composition. I don't know. I'm liking RKB's strategy here as far as the draft is going. We'll have to see if HOTUS can prove us wrong.
I think RKB has much better race. And with that Tychus pickup, I'm now reconsidering the Raynor ban and thinking it was a good idea because I think that Tychus was a fallback and that he would have gone Raynor if he had been open.
And these guys are messing with me. As they threw everybody all around just to make my job harder. Ay, 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 ay. Probably the Tychus, like you said, was an adjustment. And so they had to kind of make an adjustment when it came down to it. So I got it updated, though. Here we are. Game number 3, looking to finish this off. We have, once again, Heroes in the United States. Jub on Malfurion, Blaze playing Tychus. Waterboy TKD on the Grammy, and Watson playing Arthas. And it's going to be Clyde DH on the Sonya this time.
And on the side of RKB, we have the Pie Maker on Li Ming, Solskito on Tyrande, Crafty Devil on Imperius, Phantoms on Vala, and Rabid Penguin on ETC.
RKB not trolling me with hero swaps at the end of the game.
Look, top lane. They're going for a little bit of a bush party here.
Now, Crafty Devil not stepping out into the lane, but not sure if that's going to remain the case here until it crashes. But yeah, he's still just standing there. I imagine they can do math and they see that, well, there's only 2 heroes down here. So they got to be somewhere.
That is excellent patience by Crafty Devil. This is the trap that I have fallen into, and then also the reason why I don't play offlane anymore is because I would fall into this trap.
Good triple stun. Man, he should have taken the spear talent.
My goodness.
He did so much damage to the Waterboy TKD there with that triple stun because the towers were all focusing him in that situation. And so they kind of gave up bot lane for... I mean, they did get a tower up here, so Nonhall is lost, and they didn't die for it, so...
Yeah, they actually traded up for that. So, I would have figured RKB would have gotten the bottom camp once they saw that many people top.
Yeah, so Hoda's still doing some crazy stuff macro-wise and getting away with it.
You said you can't macro on a 2-lane map. They said, watch us.
Yep. Well, as you know, I get proven wrong pretty much on a daily basis.
Well, a little bit of a whip by the ETC. He's
Penguin. Oh no, and the return kill was not there, and Phantom's really looking for it. Instead is going to give up another kill, and this is not a good start for Reborn Knights Black.
Phantoms, I don't know why they went in that deep. Even if they had gotten the kill, Li Ming would have gotten the reset, but Vala would have died for it. They just gave up that bottom camp for free.
Yep.
And Crafty Devil having a little bit of trouble in the top lane now.
Yeah, Imperius Sonya matchup is interesting since the changes to both heroes in that one patch.
And RKB going a little bit early on this camp. This is not the timing that you want for it. You kind of want to wait until these bottom ways get cleared.
Well, luckily they're going to hold on to it, and that's good.
That is the right play, holding on to it and keeping somebody there to defend it just in case somebody gets cheeky.
I'm going to wait for the 250 mark to get it out, which is generally what my coaches recommend. But Solskito is in a bit of trouble. They're coming right into there, but nice peel there by Rabid Penguin. Root landing onto him. Phantom's dodging the Frost Nova, whatever the fuck they call it.
And
race is gonna go to RKB, I think, here.
Yeah, definitely.
Though you have to say
they even did that when they didn't have all 5 of their people there. That was a 4v5 race.
Yeah. But with Hunter's Mark here, this should be easy cleanup. It's still really close, but yeah, they did pull ahead quite significantly there. Both lanes cleared up. We're going to see a very weak Immortal pushing in this top lane. It'll get a front wall. Probably not much more than that. Especially the 5-man defense here. Interesting call.
They're sending the Sonya back down bottom. But the issue here is that, again, they don't have any CC, but the roots, they don't have much to really stop all this damage from coming out.
Yeah, and Tychus has to, and Greymane for the matter, have to step up a bit, but they're doing a pretty good job burning this down, and as I suspected from the beginning, front wall is pretty much all this is going to get given the amount of shields that were left there, but still RKB does get first objective. They do still get some good wall damage, and they do slightly pull ahead a bit on the structures, I think. Good two-man stun in the background there. ETC getting pressured hard by the Greyman. I think he's going to go down. That's the thing about Arthas. When he gets onto you, there's not a lot of ways out, and we see that showcased very well there.
Yeah, he did some excellent body blocking there, and kind of interesting that he was able to pull that off so deftly, given all of the stun and peel options that RKB had. While the 7s are going out, Gleaming is going into the Magic Missile reset build. Very standard. Vala going into your Q build.
Yeah, as this gets kind of, as it continues, their siege capability on that Immortal is going to be more and more devastating. But we do see Hodis has a slight advantage here with 3 kills they managed to get earlier on, and some of the structure damage that they've been able to do has kept them up. Plus, the camp clear has been quite favorable for them. They do have both top and bottom camps in this rotation, and that little bit of experience still adds up over time.
Yeah, they have a nearly full level lead right now, advantage over RKB. And I thought they were being a little cheeky with that camp pick on bottom with Sonya, but they already had Greymane rotating down, and Imperius could not go in and then stop it from happening.
So they're going to get that first initial part of the race. Now, is it going to matter? It's going to be hard to say here. Wrath is not available for Sonya, and I still think the burn is still super heavy in favor of RKB.
Yeah, that's about 1,000 points in their favor. And Vala went Arsenal and not the reset for her Q, so...
Interesting. Root, though, on Vala, she's in big trouble. She does manage to get peeled out there. The pressure's still coming in. I don't know if the counter damage is going to be good enough to stop this from being pushed up too hard onto them. We actually see Sonya already splitting off to get as much damage onto this as possible. 10's still not available yet, and Sonya might actually get isolated here. We actually see the power slide coming in with Imperius, plus the stun coming out from the Immortal. That's going to be a kill onto Sonya. She's going to go down here, and that's things not going in favor of Hodis there, as one dropping could be a bit of a problem. Rabbit Penguin getting nice heals up, good double stun. Watson is getting super low. We just see Greymane going in, getting the trade out, though. It's going to be 1 for 1 in that instance, and Piemaker's super low. He does manage to get out of the way, but he goes down, and that's going to be a 2 for 2. It's a 3 for 1 trade overall. Sonya's already back. It's actually a 4 for 2, 4 for 3 trade. And what was looking like a good fight for RKB turned nasty there. And I think it's just the front line couldn't stay alive long enough to keep them get the damage they needed in.
Interestingly enough, Tychus has opted to go Master Assassin for that extra PvE race. Not something that you see all the time on the Tychus. Definitely
not. But if it helps in the race department, then I can definitely see the arguments for it. 10s are about to be picked up here by RKB. They're going to grab this camp here quickly to see if they can get a little bit of counter push in the opposite lane. This is a half...
You have Cursed Bullet picked up by Greymane.
Yeah, this is a half health Immortal. Or half shield Immortal. They have really good poke damage on the side of RKB, but I do think this fort is probably going to go down here.
Yeah, well, yes, it is definitely now going to go down, but...
Arthas is super isolated. I don't know why he was pushing out that far. That fort was pretty much a foregone conclusion. I don't think he needed to feed to death there. So giving out RKB getting a little bit of an advantage. They should be able to get some control on the map because of this now, as both camps are now available in the top and bottom lane, and I'd really like to see them try to prioritize a little bit. Imperius just needs to stall out Sonya on the top lane while they get this here. Greymane is going to make the rotation up to help, so they're probably going to have to trade out these camps.
I'm looking at the chat right now. Chat has a little bit of an issue with Vala's level 7 talent choice.
Yeah, Repeater Arrow is pretty much kind of what you need for that build. I guess they were looking for a little bit more team fight damage, but what do they give up to do it is the question.
I don't think it would have helped them in a few of those fights, given the build they're in. But looking at some of these other talent choices, Greymane very standard, extra range.
So camp picked up pretty early here by Heroes of the United States. It's not going to be responded to. In fact, it looks like RKB wants to find this fight before 13. And they might actually get it, though the burst combo does not come out, but that is going to be a mosh pit spent to see if they can get a conversion onto Arthas, but not going to happen.
Now, comparatively, where all the other games, they had every character with a way to interrupt the mosh pit. Right now, they only have really one.
Yeah, grenade.
Because I don't know if Sonya can get in that deep, and that's the Tychus grenade.
So the aggression coming out here, they do catch the ETC, and with the cursed bullets, you know, double root cursed bullet does mean that ETC is gonna die a lot in these fights unless he can get peeled out by his team. So they're just gonna go for the race, but the slow rotation means they're not gonna get a lot traded out here, and that's a halftime show. Plus 13's picked up off the kill of ETC. Hodis looking to be significantly farther ahead here.
Yeah, that was an incredibly favorable Immortal placement for Hodis. I think if the Immortals had been swapped, then they don't win that Immortal that easily.
So another big beefy Immortal coming in here. We're probably going to see a 5-man push out of this with 13 still available, though 13 should be coming up quickly for RKB here.
Yeah, they'll get it. They just got it.
And I think this fort's going to go down. How much poke damage can they get? It's going to be a good amount. They're actually burning the shield down decently well.
Yeah, right now, the thing they want to avoid is getting caught in either Malthurian or Arthas' route, because right now, Hodis has been doing a really good job of following up those routes with massive burn.
So the fabled Odin, oh no, looks like Phantoms might be in big trouble. Does manage to grab a tap. Does get out of there, as there's not a lot of hard CC in that situation to really focus him down. This should be a successful keep defense. In fact, I would go right at them. I think that they should have just let the keep clear that and actually went for the aggression. They need to get some kills here to reestablish map control, because Otis can just basically kind of do whatever they want at this point.
I agree. I think that right now, what RKB wants to do, they need to take some camps, alleviate some pressure. They just saw that top camp picked up. They should be pushing in bot hard right now to try to get some damage in on this fort early on.
So, curious to see if they're going to feel pressured enough to go for this camp early, or if they're going to appropriately stall this out for the next objective. The big thing, too, as well, is they do want to fight pre-16 if they can, as 116 has got during the objective. That's going to be a hard time to try to contest. But the window is very rapidly shrinking, and they just kind of let them have that bottom camp. And this is the thing. The map control is very strongly in favor of Hodis. Getting 16s here is going to be a problem, and we can see them looking for the fight. But the roots are going to come out and make sure that they don't find one. Watson's still a little bit far out, and that spear might actually be a problem. Slow comes through, but they still managed to get there, as no one was really in position to make anything happen. And so 16 to 14, I just don't see RKB being able to actually mount a decent defense here. And they're not going to have 16s before the objective is available, so things looking pretty scary.
I think that they super wanted that engaged. Not only were they at the even talent tiers, but Vala only has 13 stacks on her Q quest right now. They want these fights so that she can finish her quest.
And so, yeah, they're going to have to give up halftime, but I don't know what the benefit of this is they're basically not going to be able to get the experience soaked up in time. So the question is, do you take a 16 to 15 fight, or do you allow a full shield immortal to go onto your keep? We're going to see the stun, but a good cleanse coming out onto Clyde DH, so he doesn't get hit by the follow-up stun from the Immortal. Imperius drops his armor, but he does get the shield drop, so he doesn't actually manage to sustain through the fight, and he's going to go down. And this is going from bad to worse here for RKB. And this is going to be a full shield immortal against a no bottom keep wall, because it will be going bottom.
This is
scary situation.
And this is the worst case scenario for RKB. They went all in on that 15-16 fight, and they lost. They didn't get any burn on the enemy team's immortal. They got half of a peg gone, and there's still not 16s in time for this defense.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary situation, and I don't see this. You know, the Tychus Siege is so good. He's going to be able to get damage onto the keep, onto the keep well. And this full shield immortal is going to be walking pretty much right onto the core.
And bullet goes out and no follow-up.
Yeah, but Rabid Penguin's still struggling to get that heal back up in time. We do see the collapse onto Watson. He will go down, but I think they're going to trade out ETC for that. Crafty Devil doing his best to get some sort of pressure, and the Angelic Armaments do come out, but he doesn't really land it on anyone. And this is still a shielded immortal. Top keep went down as Sonya did the nice little split there to make sure that both lanes were pushing. But I feel like, again, a bit of a missed opportunity here. I think a little bit of patient play with Arthas not moving so far up could have been the end of the game here.
Yeah, I honestly think that if Sonya had been with that group, they could have very easily turned that around and kept pushing in. Yeah, getting both keeps is really great. That puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team, but now you've given them a chance to come back into the game, and last time that did not work out great.
Yeah, now we do have the race in favor of HOTUS here to level 20. And I want to see if RKB can finally find a good engagement here and make something happen. And they do find a Sonya if everyone is ready to go, but unfortunately the delay off of the sun was not in time. Angelic Armament's coming out to keep him alive. Mosh Pit landing on 3, but the grenade comes out as they didn't catch Tychus in it. That's a dead ETC, and this could be the beginning of the end here for RKB. 2 kills. If they get 3 kills, I mean, with 2 kills, I think they could end here, but with 3 kills, it's a scary spot. One thing is, Greymane is really low, and he probably doesn't want to give Li Ming a chance for resets here.
No, but the more tepid they're being with this push in, the more opportunity RKB has to come back.
Yep, because they should be able to get halftime. They are going to get a camp to try to make sure that these lanes stay pushed out and that their focus remains split. And it is going to be a 20-18 fight, which is exactly what HOTUS wants. And this is really a do-or-die situation here for Reborn Knights Black. They're going to have to go find a fight here, and they have to win it. If they don't find a fight and they don't win it, this game is 100% over.
Top lane is starting to push in. Bottom lane is inching ever closer.
Yep.
They need to just dive hard here.
And here comes the engagement. Looking to see, they do land onto Greymane. That is going to get the kill that they needed there. Root, though, onto Piemaker means that he doesn't get out, and he does go down from Arthas. And Phantoms, Arthas just making things so problematic there for RKB. They kind of got trapped into a choke. That's going to be the end of the game. GG's. Heroes of the United States. They could just go core here. I'm not entirely certain why they bothered with that.
I mean, at this point, they could just dance in the center of the map, and I'm pretty sure the game would end.
Yeah, I mean, they did get the objective. It's going to push in, and it's full shield, so there's no way it can be defended.
I think the Tychus pick was actually pretty key in securing that victory. Yeah, he did the most damage for his team and got 10 of their 17 kills.
Yep.
So, color me sucked. Color me surprised. That was a good pickup.
Yeah, I mean, the root slows work well with Tychus as it keeps those kill targets right where he wants them. And, Master Assassin's an interesting pickup, but he was able to get it stacked, which allowed it to get the value it needed. So, in the end, good value.
He got those last few stacks at the very end of the game to finish it off, but it gave him some extra race. And he was able to get a huge chunk of damage. The one reason why I was so poo-poo on the cursed bullet is that, like with Tychus especially, you usually use Tychus to get people low, and then you finish them off and go for the throw. But they were able to really leverage the cursed bullet with those roots.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I kind of went into auto mode for some reason, and I didn't leave the stats up there for very long. I apologize. Definitely not my usual take on things. And Fish Drowner, I'm not really in charge of who they send. It's up to them on who they want to send to the interview.
Usually it's the team captain.
Yeah. Completely not up to me. Anyways, let's move into a lobby where they can join us.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Congratulations on your victory. It was a hard-fought set between the two top teams in the division, and I think with that victory, you might be squeaking ahead there of Reborn Knights Black, but not nearly as much as you would have had you gotten that domination on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, miscommunication on the all-in, so... Some heard the all-in call, some heard let's just get a keep, so we just got a keep and then didn't all-in, so I mean, little miscommunication, so we play some... Get to play a third game, that's okay, because I don't, you can't say what would have happened if we had gotten that keep. They got our top keep, so we knew we needed to at least trade a keep out, so...
It's fair points. So... Yeah. After that set, how are you guys feeling? Were you feeling at the top of your game? I mean, I do think that most situations in all three games, you could say that you guys controlled most of the pace of the games.
So we were down in kill count for the majority, if not the entirety of Infernal Shrines, but our macro game we felt was far stronger, and we were able to control both the level and then how we responded to the shrine. And so, while we're down kills, we kind of felt like, okay, we control this. We're doing okay. When we lost it, everybody, we're all very frustrated, kind of walking through what happened with the core call, what were we doing? A lot of frustration, and you kind of see that come out in game 2, where we kind of turned the table on the kill count. It was let's just pick a comp that's just going to kill whoever's in front of us. And so we went, double tank buster. Let's go tank, Tychus Greymane. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was very shocked by the Tychus pickup, but he certainly did work for your team.
Yeah, 10-7-0. I mean, Blaze definitely. We were very happy with how well that turned out. The Tychus pick. There was a lot of consternation between Waterboy and Clyde, who had to play the Greymane. So.
Yeah, we thought that was kind of curious, as they went for the Raynor ban, and then you guys went for the Tychus, and then you kind of had to do a bunch of player swapping around there. So the Tychus was the pick, but it didn't seem like you guys were quite 100% on who was going to be playing what right off the bat there.
Yeah, we knew Blaze was going to play the Tychus. It was just now, okay, Water and Clyde, figure it out. Which one of you is going to play what? I don't care. So. They settled on Clyde playing the Sonya, Water playing the Greymane. So it worked out pretty well.
ETC was left up all 3 games. Did you feel like it was an impactful pick, or did you guys feel like you had it handled?
Game 1, I think we had it pretty well handled. I think game 2, the Tassadar, in my opinion, gave us more trouble than anything else. I think there was a couple of opportunities where we might have had a kill on ETC if they didn't have that Task Shield. So I think their drafts in game 2 was pretty strong. That Tassadar Vala combo worked really well. We actually expected it on BOE. And so we're thinking about playing around that. When they didn't draft it, went Tyrande, Li Ming, Vala in the first 3, it was just kind of surprising. That's why we figured, well, we don't necessarily need a traditional tank. They've got a very squish back line, just a solo frontline Arthas or the Arthas Sonya should be enough to, if we can get on top of those 3, I don't know that ETC and Imperius can deal with it. So, and ETC that game, I don't think in the BOE got nearly the value that it could have.
Yeah, I feel like if ETC had gotten the Mosh to land on Tychus, then some of those engagements could have gone a lot differently. Because I saw that in game 1 and 2, everyone on your team had an interrupt for Mosh Pit. But going into BOE, it looked like pretty much only you had to depend on the Tychus grenade to stop the Mosh.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was kind of where Tychus had to be the pick. It was, hey guys, we don't have a Mosh interrupt and we need Giant Killer.
We have Fish Drowner TV really fanboying Waterboy TKD a lot in the chat here. And he wants you to tell us what his win rate is on Greymane.
I'm pretty sure Water's win rate on Greymane is like less than 1%. I'm not even kidding. It's pretty bad. In fact, I think that's the first time Waterboy has ever played Greymane. So Hodis has been a team this is like our 4th season of NGS. That is the first time Waterboy has ever played Greymane in an NGS match.
Oh, I can actually look up his stats right here. Oof. Yeah, that's kind of rough for Greymane.
yeah, he's a great player of many characters. Greymane is not necessarily one that he plays a lot.
I'm not going to give the win rate percentage. I will say that he has 13 games lifetime on Greymane.
That is very low.
He's never won. I know he's never won in ranked play with Greymane, that's for sure.
I do think, though, that, we were kind of concerned about the lack of hard CC on your guys' Game 3 draft, but when you kind of do root into Curse Bullet into Tychus damage, it doesn't really matter who gets stuck into that combo. They're pretty much going to die.
Yeah, no, and there were 2 opportunities where I think I even died pushing forward. I mean, and I died pushing forward trying to get, just position on, some of their squishies, and didn't time, my ult or, my Icebound Fortitude, but the team was able to still take advantage of what CC we had and maybe trade out the ETC or trade out, at least one of the enemy heroes. So the, damage on our side, I think it was a lot of damage to deal with and very little tools to deal with it.
So is it just gravy here on out? You guys took out the number 1 seed currently, and it's just easy coasting here from the rest of the season, or who are you watching out for that you guys still have remaining to match up against?
So I don't honestly know a lot of the teams we have left. Beast Coast is one we're familiar with, Minion Miners another. Lots of good squads from what we've seen just watching games here and there. I think that's the thing about this game, right? We're Division B. Anything can happen. It's, a bad draft or a bad night, and next thing you know, we're first to worst real quick. So, we'll just 1 week at a time, whoever we got to play next. We got another match this week, so our 3rd game this week tomorrow. So it'll be nice for the week to come to an end. We're playing quite a bit.
Yep, and that'll be against the 3rd seed or 5th seed Minion Miners currently. Expecting any crazy drafts or cheese coming out from them?
I've seen a lot of interesting stuff from them. I know that they ran a main tank Uther, something that I enjoy running, and something that it looked like Reborn Knights noticed because they banned it all night, unfortunately. But yeah, it's Minion Miners. They run a lot of exotic drafts, to say the least. I think they ended up beating, Reborn with it was a Lucio, Uther, Ragnaros, like Thrall. I don't think they had a tank at all. It was a really weird composition. So, should be very interesting.
For sure. Any questions?
There you go. Interesting that you called out Beast Coast, because I am excited for our game against y'all too.
Yeah, no, it should be fun. I mean, it was. I remember playing you guys last season. I know it was a good set, so it's gonna be another good one.
Any more questions for our esteemed gentleman here, there, Monkus?
No, that'll do me.
Alrighty. So let's move into the shout-out phase and get us all out of here for the night.
So, shout outs to Twitch Chat and Fish Drowner. Thanks for showing up and cheering us on again. Appreciate it. Giving Water all the support he needs. And thanks to you guys for casting. Really appreciate you picking the game up and casting us. And that's it. Thanks to the team for showing up and playing well.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for showing up for the interview. Congratulations on the victory. Good luck in your match tomorrow.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, everybody, that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for showing up and keeping the chat nice and exciting. It was a really good setup between these two matchup, and I imagine it's something that we may see yet again in the playoffs. We'll just have to see how things work out.
I'll definitely be looking forward to that.
Anyways, I was joined here tonight by Monkus. Thank you for co-casting there tonight. Where can the folks find you?
They can find me at Twitch TV/MunkusBeaver. And thank you for having me as a co-caster.
Always open whenever you feel like it. I do not mind having a partner in crime, as it makes things a lot easier on me and a lot easier on my voice, so I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Alrighty, if you have not already, please hit the follow button. If you're feeling extra generous, please do subscribe and or biddies or anything that you feel you can offer. It would be much appreciated. And if not, follow and watching the stream is more than enough for me. Thank you all for showing up tonight. Have a wonderful day. We'll catch you later.